Hello, 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 welcome to episode 396 of Prog Review today. Now, it's Tony Banks' Chord Too Far. If you haven't seen the unboxing, peel back. Or should I intersperse this with it? What do you reckon? But anyway, yeah, Tony Banks, it's a compilation. It's done by Esoteric Records. They did the Harvest of the Heart compilation recently for Anthony Phillips. A similar package, 4 CDs, booklet with loads of pictures and words and stuff. The inside's pretty good. It's Tony Banks. He's talking about the music. He gives great insight into the albums. So that's a draw, because you get to hear from the man himself. But you've really got to love Tony Banks to get the most out of this compilation. This is kind of a criticism I'd levelled at the Anthony Phillips one. Is the track listing, is the running order. It's not in chronological order. They've kind of sequenced this in a way. It's a little bit jarring because you move from era to era. So you have tracks from A Curious Feeling sitting next to, more modern stuff, and it can be a little bit incongruous. It can be jarring as you move from one era and one album to another. I would have preferred maybe a more chronological approach, but then that's just me. I like things a bit peculiar like that. I like things chronological, don't you? Problem is I really can't stand these Tony Banks' solo stuff. As if you've seen my review of A Curious Feeling, I think that's a pretty pretty insipid solo record. Well, there's more to come, especially with his later stuff on from Still, Bank Statement, and to some extent Strictly Inc. Again, the one track I did like from Strictly Inc., Only 17, isn't even on here. I mean, come on, I like that one. But what I found interesting is the tracks he does with other people, like Line of Symmetry. And I was listening to that, I was thinking, wait a minute, the main melody line reminded me of Anthony Phillips' Nightmare from his Sides album. I'm probably completely wrong, but there was some sort of similarity there. But yeah, when he was working with Toyah, 'cause Toyah does the vocals on that, and even when he works with Fish, the resulting product is more satisfying and more interesting. Though the problem with the Fish material is it does sound like it's something that Marillion might have put out. Again, the later one, is it Angel Face? From disc 3 sounds like it could have been a Fish solo track from Wilderness or that period. Again, the guests tend to make their stamp on it. So yeah, you've got to get through a lot of the. I can't. It was horrible. It was truly awful listening to some of this stuff, because I just find it so boring. If it's not boring, it just does sound very of its time, and that's not a problem. But you do hear the good thing is you do hear Tony Banks' contribution to Genesis. You do hear those flourishes and those big chords too far in here, but as a solo artist, he suffers the same issue that probably Mike Rutherford suffers. He needs to surround himself with good people to bounce ideas off, and so a lot of it is just hard work. It's not all bad. I did like disc 4 when the classical stuff, because he did was it 6 pieces and seven pieces or whatever, and they're orchestral albums. and they're pretty good. But again, what they do here is they intersperse them with like From the Undertow from Curious Feeling, and some of the soundtrack stuff is done. And you know, I think that soundtrack stuff and should have been maybe put on one of the other discs, and the fourth disc should have been completely the orchestral, because it's not half bad. I thought it was quite good. I kind of enjoyed it. You know, it was yeah, it was good. I'm gonna let him have that one. But yeah, you really do have to be a Tony Banks fan to enjoy this. But again, if you aren't, why would you wouldn't need this? So again, as a newcomer, I mean, if you was a newcomer to this, say you've just got into Genesis and you're checking out I don't know, the solo careers of the various members, yeah, for 30 quid, because I think it's about 30 quid, this represents a decent investment. Again, you get a good, you know, a good booklet and him talking about the work, and you know, there's a lot of tracks, there's a lot of material there, not necessarily sequenced in an order that I find palatable, but for a newcomer, I think, you know, it gives a very good indication of what Tony Banks is about and what he's capable of, whether you like it or not. So yeah, for 30 quid, I think it's decent value. Not for me, but I imagine for some little sprout out there who wants to know, yeah. I mean, you didn't get, back in my day, you didn't get this kind of stuff. You had to track down the individual solo albums and learn the hard way that they were no good. Whereas here you can cherry pick the bits that you like. I mean, again, there are some good songs, like I say, Line of Symmetry, Shortcut to Somewhere. I know it's a Fish song, I know, but I quite enjoyed that one. At the Edge of the Night, again, that's Tony Banks. Tony Banks sings on here as well. You hear the voice of Banks. Edge of the Night, you can hear the Genesis influence. So yeah, I mean, it's. I think, yeah, for a newcomer, you'd probably be very satisfied with it. But for those, you know, again, you've really got to like, or want to like, Tony Banks to get the most from it. From a jaded old fart like me, there's a not. it's not enough. It's not enough. And it's a shame, because that fourth disc, they could have really dedicated it to his classical music, and that would have been, I think, again, sequencing complete. I think it was a complete bodge job on the sequencing. But anyway, you've heard enough. In terms of a rating, I'm 4 CDs, 30 quid, nice booklet. I'm going to give it 3 and a bit, 3.2 lines of symmetries for this. That's 3.2 lines of symmetries, because it is good value. You know, these packages are, I mean, I think they're really great. I mean, you know, it's like the Jethro Tull reissues, and again the Harvest of the Heart one. I think they're really, you know, they represent really good value for the newcomer. So, you know, but again, points are knocked off because sequencing's out. You know, you should have maybe done it. If you're watching this esoteric, try the chronological approach next time. That way you can see how an artist develops. You can see from A to B how they grow and develop, rather than this bloody hodgepodge. It's and that's it. You're right. Good. You thought I was going to be all blood and fire and vim and vigour and piss and vinegar, but no, I thought I'd restrain it. Be a bit more respectful. I know someone's going on a bit. I'm very disrespectful of people, and this is a new Darren. You see, be respectful to everyone. You see, ain't gonna last. It's not gonna last long. But anyway, so yeah, my name's Darren. I've been talking about Tony Banks's A Chord Too Far. It's 4 CDs of fun and frolics. I was going to add something else that sounds like frolics, but again, that'd be disrespectful. So you fill in the blank. What word rhymes with frolics that might be could be attributed to this? It's a load of Frolics. There you go. So I'm still respectful. You're being disrespectful if you think of that rude word. Anyway, I better skedaddle. You've had enough. You've had enough. Only one more thing to say, that is, prog on.